Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's officially the end of 2025, and what a year it has been for Disney Speedstorm. We've seen a huge shift in how the game plays this year, with 7 new seasons and some of the most requested characters finally hitting the roster. I'm ranking every single 2025 season from S all the way to G, which season has had the best track, which one gave us the most broken races, and most importantly, which one was actually worth the grind. We are Hidden Mickey Games, and this is the definitive 2025 Disney Speedstorm tier list. Now, with this tier list today, we have 7 slots for the 7 seasons of 2025, and here is the catch. Only one season can occupy each slot, which means no doubling up and no easy outs. One season is going to take the crown, and one season is going to be this year's biggest disappointment. Now I have mentioned 7 slots, as I am going to include season 11, Save the World, which focus on the Incredibles for this review, as it did take up almost 2 months of 2025. Some controversy straight from the start. The other 6 seasons speak for themselves. We have season 12, Tron, On the Grid, season 13, Big Hero 6, Microbot Mayhem, season 14, Toy Story Part 2, No Toy Gets Left Behind, season 15, Alice in Wonderland, Time for Tea, season 16, Winnie the Pooh, Rumbly Tumbly Adventure, and finally season 17, Zootopia, Partners in Paw. But before we dig into our first season, if you enjoyed this 2025 review, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us on our Disney adventures in 2026. Also, please leave a like on the video and drop which was your favourite season from 2025 in the comments below. Now, let's get into it. First up, we're heading back to Metroville for the Incredibles season. This update was a huge success going into 2025, with the Incredible Showdown track easily one of the most dynamic we've ever had. Between the massive Omnidroids attacking the track and those high-speed rooftop jumps, the sense of scale here was just unbeatable. This was the last season where we also got 5 full races, not including mid-season races, which is something that I definitely do miss, but this meant we got a full Incredible family, plus Frozen. And let's talk about the impact that they had. Dash lived up to his name as a top-tier speedster and very quickly took off as one of my new favourite racers. And Mr. Incredible became an absolute menace in ranked races with those rock throwing abilities. It set such a high bar for the rest of 2025, maybe even too high for some of the seasons that followed. The first one we are looking at could quite possibly be the best we saw all year. Next, we're de-resing the competition and heading into the grid. If the Incredibles was about high-octane chaos, the Tron season was all about pure, filtered style. The Identity Cycle track is arguably the best looking environment Game Loft had ever designed. Racing through these neon ribbons of light with that pulsing electronic soundtrack, it felt less like a kart racer and more like a trip into the digital frontier. Sometimes, however, those neon lights did get a little distracting. We saw 4 racers join the roster, Sam Flynn leading the way, followed by Zeus, Cora and Rinsler. And while they weren't the easiest races to master, Cora's ability on the track made her a favourite for technical players. However, this season was a bit of a wild card for the community, with some loving the high-tech aesthetic, while others found the track gravity-defying sections a bit disorientating and tedious. For me though, this season pushed the boundaries of what a Speedstorm track can look like. It wasn't just a race, it was an experience. I did however feel this was one of the seasons where I dropped off before the end. I feel the track might have been a little too repetitive, especially with those grinding sections. Flying into our third season that I know a lot of you are waiting for, Big Hero 6. If we're talking about the total package for 2025, this might be the one to beat. The San Francisco track had a bit of everything: verticality, the cherry blossoms, and the microbots shifting the terrain. It felt alive. But the real game changer, Baymax. Seeing everyone's favourite healthcare companion on the starting line was one thing, but his ability to provide shields and support totally shifted how we played team games this year. Between Hero's technical manoeuvres and Honey Lemon's chemical chaos on the track, the roster felt incredibly balanced but powerful. It didn't just add characters, it added a new level of strategy to the podium. This season did have a bit of everything, from the music to the new races. It felt like the most polished experience of the year. It's hard to find a flaw in this one, but if there is, it would be that we are now down to our 3 racer a season, which again is a huge shame. Next up, we're heading back to Andy's room for a sequel that I don't feel lived up to the original. Toy Story Part 2, No Toy Gets Left Behind. Now usually sequels can feel like a filler, and the lack of a new track really left me feeling this way. We did however finally get Emperor Zurg, someone I was very excited for. Lotso, and the ever anxious Forky. And let's be honest, playing as Zurg and raining down foam ball chaos on the track felt so good. Despite being such a huge Toy Story fan, this really was a season where I dropped off towards the back end of the season. For new players that might have been different, the unlocks of Buzz and Bo Peep could have been enough to keep others engaged for longer, but after my fill of Zurg, and with no new track, this season really wasn't for me. It's time to go down the rabbit hole with Season 15, Alice in Wonderland. Now if there was one season in 2025 that completely split my opinion in two, it was this one. Looking at the A World of My Own track, you can kind of guess why. It was pure eye candy, it was bright, it's nonsensical, and really felt like we took a trip down the rabbit hole. It was nice however to see the return of a new track, as seasons without are now already starting to feel a little bit bare. We got Alice, the Mad Hatter, and the Queen of Hearts for our races, and while their abilities were incredibly thematic, especially the Queen of Hearts, they felt a bit more situational than the powerhouses we got with the Big Hero 6 season. It's the season you either loved or avoided in ranked. It wasn't the most balanced update, but it was easily the most daring we saw all year. Now let's slow things down just a little as we head into the 100 Acre Wood for the Rumbly Tumbly adventure. This season really caught me by surprise as I am not the biggest fan of Winnie the Pooh. I know, shock. Getting Pooh, Tigger and Eeyore felt like I wasn't going to enjoy them as racers, but how wrong I was. Seeing Tigger's bouncy ability in action on the track was pure chaos in the best possible way. Pooh had some abilities that took getting used to, but once you had, you felt you could swing the race your way. And not forgetting Eeyore. Getting the boost while making other racers skid, this was something I could definitely get behind. I did however again feel we lacked a new track, but I did have a lot of fun with the races which kept me engaged for much longer than I expected. Some could say they have made a Winnie the Pooh fan out of me and kept a bit of the pace from the last season going much longer than I expected. And finally, we're suiting up and heading into the urban jungle for our final season of the year, Partners in Paw, bringing Zootopia into Speedstorm, a highlight of the winter for me. The Savannah Central track is fast, it's technical, and it has so many branching paths that it really rewards players who have spent all of 2025 mastering their lanes. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde aren't just fan favourites, they are absolute powerhouses. Judy's police ability is one of the most creative ways to mess with your opponent's momentum. At the recording of this video, I am yet to experience Flash, but feel the rest of the season already has a lot going for it, and can't wait to get my hands on this third racer. This season completely changed how we approach the final stretch of the year. It's the perfect bookend to 2025. It took everything we learned from Tron and Big Hero 6 and dialed it up to 11. So there it is, 7 seasons, a whole year of racing in the books. Now it's time to flip back to the tier list and rank these seasons. Here we go then, onto the list, and starting with the most disappointing season of the year, it's going to be Toy Story. As mentioned before, it really just didn't live up to the standards of the first Toy Story set, with only 3 races. Zurg was the only one that I really enjoyed, and with no new track, this for me was the disappointment of the year. In at 6th, we're going to go with Tron. Looking back, it was a season that I really enjoyed at first, but fell off very quickly. I didn't really like Tron going in, and can't say that I'm much of a fan coming out. The track was a little repetitive, especially with the grinds, although it did have a save with the Racercast. Coming in at 5th is Winnie the Pooh. It is a surprise for me, as I did feel it was going to be lower than this, but I loved all the races this season. Pooh, Tigger and Eeyore now all are races that I use and use often. It is such a shame that this season did not have a track, otherwise it would certainly have come higher on the list. In at 4th, and just missing out on the podium, is Alice in Wonderland. Overall, it was a fun season, a slightly chaotic season, but a fun season. Again, with the new formula, we only got 3 races, but the track did make up for this. It was just as bonkers as it needed to be to fit in the Alice in Wonderland world. Which leaves us coming now onto our podium places, and taking the bronze medal is going to be Zootopia. Zootopia this season has a lot going for it. It has a great track that has actual worthwhile shortcuts, and I'm thoroughly enjoying Judy and Nick's races. As mentioned previously, I am looking forward to Flash, and it is overall a great way to see out 2025. Coming in at 2nd and taking that silver medal is The Incredibles. And it's probably rightly so, as it did come out in 2024. This was the last season to have a full stacked racer roster and a new track, really making you feel you got your money's worth. Something that I have missed with seasons is not getting a new free racer each season, making that grind feel ever so grindy. This season, however, had it all. It was such a strong start to the year. Which leaves us with our gold medalist, our winner, and I'm sure you all know by now, it is going to be Big Hero 6. This season for me was refreshing, a really nice track that was both fun in full length and shorter length courses. It was dynamic and visually stunning. The audio to accompany it really sold the vibe down to a T. And then we have the racers. All 3 for me were huge hits, but especially Baymax and Hero. The abilities of these racers match the characteristics of the characters, but also delivered on the track. So there you have it, my definitive 2025 Disney Speedstorm tier list. From the heroic heights of The Incredibles to the wild streets of Zootopia, it's been an incredible journey for Hidden Mickey Games in 2025, and I look forward to what races we get to see next year. But now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with my picks? Did I do the Alice in Wonderland season dirty? Drop your tier lists in the comments below. I have also linked to the tier list I used in the description if you want to take your own shot at it. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see who we're unlocking next, I'll see you this Sunday for our next Speedstorm showcase. Keep racing, keep finding those hidden Mickeys, and I'll see you all in 2026.